Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to That Gameplays Live. We've got a lot going on today. Got a couple of great panelists to start with. We've got stories coming out of our ear holes, ladies and gentlemen. We will not be able to get to them all in the next 90 minutes, but we'll try. We've got more than you could imagine. Vara Dark takes it to Jaffe over a video game. We've got some Squad versus Justice League news. We've got some Ubisoft news. We always have Ubisoft news. And we have some really weird changes to some terms of service, which I'm very concerned with. For those of you in the chat right now, welcome. Thanks for being here. Also, please take the opportunity to tweet out that the game place is live. Thank everybody who is here. We got Joseph Frost Ghost here. We've got Low Spec Linux Gaming starting out. We got Davina Duckworth, and of course the Butter Biscuit in the house as well. We will be keeping track of the great and powerful board, but let's bring in the panelists to start with from the get-go. Get me off the screen. There you go. Apparently, I'm a dwarf. Did you guys hear that this morning?
I was present for it.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. We got the great one himself, Loki. How you doing, Loki?
Doing pretty good, Culture. Doing pretty good. Ready to get into this and talk gaming.
All right, let's do that. And then, of course, Marvin, who you already heard from, because he's busy. Again, we do keep track of the support that we get in the chat with a little bit of a top supporters thing here. It's been completely reset. There is no platinum anymore. This is a new month. We are December 3rd, so if you want to get in there, feel free, and we will get started. Gentlemen, I feel like I want to talk about how these game companies want to control our what we do outside of games. You guys want to talk about that?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about it. Looks like a new update to Riot Games terms of service. This is written by Spencer Baculi over at Bounding Into Comics. Kind of wish he was here right now. It says it gives League of Legends developers the right to respond to players' off-platform conduct with penalties in game. Guys, let's imagine what this is. Loki, any idea?
Culture, back in the day, devs used to encourage you to do, bad things in the game. Run around a village, maiming, slaughtering. I'm thinking of you, Fable. So many different ways you could do really cool stuff with it. You could be bad, good, Knights of the Old Republic, and it's another good example. Now, you can't be a meanie to anybody. And if you're a meanie to anybody out in the real world, we are going to penalize you in game for your actions. I don't think so. I don't have to play your League of Legends. I don't have to play your game. And I'm certainly not going to if you're going to have a microscope over what I do in the real world.
This is also an extension of what Sweet Baby Inc. tried to do to Cabrutus with we don't like what he said in his Steam curator group, so we want to take away his Steam account. They are trying to hit gamers where it hurts to stop gamers from voicing their true opinions, because now what they're doing is they're being like, well, if you don't toe the line and adhere to our rhetoric, we're going to take away the thing that you love, which is games.
Yeah, it seems a little dirty. I mean, well, okay, not a little dirty. It seems a lot dirty. I hold in low regard companies that try to do this and the ones that try to do it in the future. And I believe that maybe this is one of the few times I would say where there needs to be an application of government law to prevent this kind of thing, just like we need laws put together to prevent debanking for people, because that was something that was happening. I'm sure you probably all agree.
I brought that up this morning, the debanking thing. We can't come after you because of, your First Amendment and the fact that, yes, we have freedom of speech, but we can make it pretty much impossible for you to earn money and have a banking account, make transactions unless you're doing it in cash. It's absolute insanity. I mean, imagine making a game and being told, well, you can't bank with us because you made this product that hurts no one. Might I add, it hurts absolutely no one. You've got a video game, but because you make a product, they're going to no.
Yeah, and I think there should be penalties that go along with that. But according to Spencer's article here, it says another day, another step closer to blanket internet authoritarianism. This time, as League of Legends developer Riot Games has updated their terms of service to allow them to write to the issue in-game penalties to players who engage in quote unquote harmful off-platform behavior while using any of the company's video game services. Wow, what a broad reach you seem to want to have into people's lives. You are a video game. You are a video game company. You should not be able to influence people's speech. People should be able to say freely whatever they want. And you should either deal with it or stop making games. As detailed in the November 26th blog post published to the developer's official website, this change, one of 4 recently made to said user agreement in service of evolving with games and the current ecosystem to make the best possible experience for our players and creators, clarifies that off-platform conduct and behavior connected to our IP is now subject to our terms of service.
So don't sign the terms of service and don't play. It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, Big Brother's watching.
Yeah, and they're the ones that determine if it's related to their IP or not, right? So, for example, if you're doing content on reviewing their recent adaptation over on Netflix of Arcane, they're going to want to have some control over what you say about their product that way. You don't think that's going to happen? Of course,
there'll be people talking about it. There'll be people making their opinions known. They cannot continue this. You know, we went through this whole thing back in the 2000s, early 2000s, about game censorship and the government trying to get involved. And ever since then, it seems like it's just been building up to this. Well, if we can't sign into law to get something done, we will find creative ways to force the gaming industry to do it for us. And considering how many execs they have from Hollywood that are in the gaming industry
and the
now following
community.
along.
And the intelligence community, Loki. Sorry to interrupt you, but yeah. No, you're right. I think that's a good take. I mean, Marvin, look, this next part might be the most disturbing. It says, is our intention with this update to help protect players from harmful behaviors they can experience across the various places that touch their gaming experience.
Oh,
Marvin,
Lord,
have you ever been touched that way?
That sounds like bad touch. No, yeah. Show here on the computer screen where the words touched you. It's absolutely ridiculous. Going off platform to penalize and criminalize in-game content. It is another form of control. It's another form of suppression. It's more of the games industry being so out of touch with actual gamers. I mean, look, once the first people start losing access to the game that they like to play because of something they said at a message board or voice, how long before it's not even just like, stuff about, the woke stuff? How long until it's like, hey, I think the recent update you guys did sucks because, it's not really that great. The gameplay is not great. The story's not great. And then you're kicked out of the game because the person in charge of the, what do they call them? The experience manager, whatever it is, decides that, yeah, that was out of line. So now you don't get to play the game anymore. You're giving these people way too much power.
Well, I think that if you make a game that's interconnected in any way, you as the game studio are, need to find a way just to absolve yourself, not rather dig in your heels and try to influence other people's behaviors. I don't play League of Legends and I don't play anything that's Riot Games. So, hey guys, you know what? Go fund yourself. Okay.
Can I ask, did anyone see, and I hate to defend these people, Blizzard coming out and making a statement about how they don't condone Elon's choices or anything, and that they're going to ban his account or anything like that when he was playing Diablo 4 and promoting it all during the election, after the election, even now, fastest speedrunner in Diablo 4. Did Blizzard come out and say anything or say we're gonna penalize you and take away your score because you voted for the wrong guy? No, they didn't. Blizzard didn't do that. As much as I don't like defending Blizzard, they didn't do that. In fact, it even piqued interest in the game, and more people are playing it now because they see Elon playing it and going, well, man, if he's enjoying it, maybe they've done something different. Maybe they've changed a few things. I'll go back and try it and see what it's all about. It created interest and it drove players to go back and check it out. It didn't do this, which just drives people away.
And the thing about this, Loke, if they implement this and people keep playing the game and they don't see a massive drop off and they don't see backlash, how many other studios are going to do that? How many how long until Blizzard all of a sudden decides, hey guys, everything you say on the message boards or on in a Steam curator group, all of that is now able to be held against you in game, and all those hundreds of hours you logged on Warcraft, guess what? It's gone now.
That's insane. That is straight up insanity. That's what this is insane.
Well, see, we have even more insanity to talk about. Sometimes we like to talk about good things, and we do have a couple of good things that we're going to cover here in today's show, but we didn't even have to get very far before we already stood what this was all about. And I have a feeling that, this is going to further limit your quote unquote partner privileges program going forward. So just be aware that that they really are out to control everything that you do and say, especially if it's linked to any of these games. So this is always being applied to things like League of Legends, Legends of Runeterra, Valorant, and the upcoming 2XKO fighting game. So it doesn't just hold the one game, it's everything Riot Games does. So I feel like this is nothing but bad, and they're going to have some real issues. So they're going to force creators. Hang on, one more thing. They're going to force creators to adjust their content to adhere to the rules by January.
So this is
3rd.
Retroactive?
They did, yeah.
So does that mean if you have a post from 2 years ago in which you said that an update was stupid because you didn't like this, that, or the other thing that they put in, or you called somebody an idiot because they said something to you about something, does that mean now that they can go back, find that, and use that as a reason to get you kicked off? Like, you better go through your history.
I'm telling you, this is what it reads. Some of these updates may require creators to rethink their existing content strategy and content partners, right? Rather than begin enforcing their new rules immediately, Riot Games is giving creators until January 3rd, 2025 to adjust their content to adhere to these rules. And that may insinuate that you have to go back in time, but it certainly tells you, like, if you have somebody who's a wrong content partner, you may need to dump them. This is how garbagey this is. And go ahead.
I was just going to ask, when did we go from like gaming being led by drummers in a punk rock band to kindergarten teachers? Because that's what this all reads like. You don't say those bad words; they could be hurtful. And you need to go back and rethink your words, sweetheart, and change them. Otherwise, you're in trouble. I'm sorry.
And you know what? Even the people that were in charge of gaming back in like the PS2 days and stuff like that, when gaming was kind of at its peak, they're even starting to turn into the kindergarten teachers now. Look at what the guy that brought you Kratos, look what he's doing now. Like, it's all just nonsense.
What a absolute disappointment.
But I don't see it getting better, gentlemen. And that's something that bothers me an awful lot. But let's take a look at what the chat has to say, unless you guys have final words you want to drop. Is this a good idea, bad idea? What do you think is going to happen?
Bad idea.
Okay.
I agree. Absolutely bad idea. It's just going to drive gamers away, and they don't want to put up with it. Gamers, you've got a whole generation of people that grew up with all of this that are still playing, that are still going, and new gamers that mostly get controllers put in their hands from their fathers, their uncles, their older brothers, whatever. And they're not going to put up with this. Do this at your own peril.
And it sets a horrifying and terrifying precedent for the industry going forward. Because if this is allowed to continue, we're going to see it more and more and more until this is the norm.
I agree with you. And you know what? I'm concerned. I think, again, it's one of the few times I would say we need regulation that not just covers the game industry, but elsewhere, that corporations cannot in any way limit your free speech. It's going to have to come out, because that's the only way for things to change. But we're going to move to the actual super chats from great contributors and supporters like Pinochet's Helicopter Tours, who's here early and often with a $2 super chat saying, how soon before devs demand government impose social credit? That's kind of what this is. It's without like a formalization of it, but this is directly related to what the CCP does already. You know, it's another reason to push back. You cannot require this. There will be no way that you will be held to a social credit score. You just have to adhere to the laws of a civil society. I don't know. What do you guys think about this, real quick? You think we'll see a social credit score here?
Oh, I think so. Eventually, I think
there.
I think we're eventually going to get to the point where, like that episode of the Orville, everything is in society is going to be decided by upvotes and downvotes.
Yeah, that's going to be garbage. You do not want mob rule.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, you don't want the 51 wolves deciding what's for dinner over the 49 sheep. Anyway, we'll move on. We've got Pinochet's Helicopter Tours for another 2 Culture Casino Cash. Oh, wait, that's not right. I'm on the wrong channel. It's $2 worth of tokens. That's right. Sorry. If it would be cheaper to just get banned from Epic. Yeah, actually, I think it would be. Yeah. I mean, in this case, it's Riot Games, but yes, you're 100% right.
It's a horrible platform with
It's
a
a terrible
store and a UI.
Look, it's a terrible precedent for Riot Games, don't you think, Loki? Yeah.
Oh yeah. No. This is not what you want to be doing. Like I said, you didn't see anybody going after anybody else for any of this. And I'm sorry, but if you're going to be like, we look at how you live your life if you play video games. No, I'm sorry. I just don't have anything to do with you. I have a bunch of different options, most of them outside of the United States, that I can go to and play a video game. I don't need you.
And you know what? That you're 100% right. People have shown a willingness in the last year or two to walk away from the Western gaming world. And that's only going to increase if things like this keep happening.
Yeah. And we got another one in here from a Metallica fan, 1442 for £5 sterling. That's proper money and a lot of quarters for us at the arcade. As someone in the UK, I can definitely see two-tier Kier bringing a social credit system. Oh, I know, my friend. I know. I'm worried about you. I'm worried for you. I really am. I've been talking about it on my channel, which is a little bit of a stretch, but man, it touches entertainment and everything. But yeah, two-tier Kier bringing a social credit system in. We don't have freedom of speech anymore. I know. And that's, again, it's why I made the video I made about Mr. Bean.
Yeah. Britain is literally at the point where they're in V for Vendetta when like the jackbooted troops are kicking down their doors because it's something they said.
Yep.
Yeah, let's not make fiction real. Okay, that's a bad plan.
Especially not that fiction.
Yeah, although
why don't we make Star Trek real? Why don't we make the utopic future of Star Trek real? Like,
I don't know.
Why are we making V for Vendetta real?
I know. Let's shave her head again. I think that'd be a good time. Anyway, thank you for this amazing support. We appreciate it from our friends across the pond. But in moving forward, we will have to talk about a little bit more dystopia or a little bit more, freaky reactions coming from a fan group of all things. That's right. We want to control your speech in a fan group. Of course, I think that's super fun.
And they called us gatekeepers culture.
I know. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I thought we were the gatekeepers. We Gamergate, right? We were the bad guys trying to like keep people out of games because they were ruining them. Well, courtesy of our good friend here, Marvin the Movie Monster, the writer extraordinaire over at That Park Place. I almost said That Game Place, but maybe someday. Anyway, it says DragonAge there you go. Yeah. DragonAge the Veilguard Facebook group bans laugh reacts.
Wow.
They're banned laughing. There you are allowed no mirth, no humor.
I could not believe it. Like, is this I feel like this group must be run by Tex Richmond, the or the Weasels from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Stop laughing. You know what happens when you can't stop laughing.
There you go.
Are we all gonna get kicked off because we're laughing and having a good time?
I don't care. I'm never going to join this group anyway. I think Facebook is like, silly. Maybe
what
you can share. Go ahead.
What is the drive to want to control how you react and what you say?
I don't know.
All of this is just crazy.
It's all about creating a world, though, in which where people cannot, where everybody is safe from being triggered constantly.
Yeah,
where you never have your feelings hurt for even a second. Where reality is never a factor and it never even knocks on the door.
Oh, maybe that is something that's happening. But let's get into your article just for a couple of paragraphs anyway. And Pirate Nation is represented there. Well, good job. Admins for DragonAge, the Veilguard Facebook group, have outlawed the laugh reaction and are actively banning members who use it. The entire world is laughing at DragonAge, the Veilguard, from the game's cringe-inducing writing to cartoonish visuals to the horrific sales numbers and cratering, there's the word, concurrent player count. The game has been the butt of many jokes. However, laughter in the DragonAge, the Veilguard Facebook group will get you booted and banned. And this is from Pirate Nation. And this is the actual thing that came out on Facebook. Laugh reacts banned. Laugh reacts will get you banned. We're not going to tolerate anyone laugh reacting to a personal post of someone when it is not meant to be funny. So now we have to judge tone in text of somebody maybe in sarcasm saying that I feel represented or something like that, right? So it's weird, or I can't believe that this is me or whatever. And again, they could even be saying that in sarcasm. You don't know. And you're not.
Do you think they would hold on to this if somebody was like, I can't believe what gaming's coming to today. This game is an absolute sham because of all the ideology and some wokester laugh reacted to it. You think they'd get booted? Because I don't.
I don't either.
You're gonna be removed. You don't even play. Don't even play. And I see not only Machini but also Knee Pain drop some support. Thank you to both of you. We'll get to those in just a moment. I'm looking at this saying this is unbelievable.
Just don't sign up. Don't sign up for it. Don't go on it. You don't need to be on there anyway. Their game stinks. BioWare's dead. It's a dead horse. They're kicking a dead horse, trying to get gold out of a dead horse.
Well, and
just don't sign up.
And they want you to not be in there. They want you to go away. They want you to not be a part of the conversation because they want to create an echo chamber.
Yeah, and that's I mean, hey, they might as well head over to Blue Sky. That's where they're all going to be. But anyways. Well, I mean, actually, Threads is much better off than.
I wasn't talking about that.
Anyway. Sorry. All right.
I was talking about Blue Sky.
I understand. So apparently, admin Ezra Wren said, "Please remember that using laugh reactions on posts or comments that are not intended to be funny will lead to removal from this group, as we aim to maintain." This is the problem. What is this? Toxic positivity, no criticism. You can have
good
no
vibes
games.
only.
Nothing. Look, I'm all about positive vibes. I try to give them to everybody every day, but I see the world fairly straightforward. I'm going to tell you what I think is good. I'm going to tell you what I think is bad, and I'm going to tell you what I think needs work. Because without criticism, you have no chance of getting better at what you're doing. I get criticized all the time. You know what I don't do? I don't lash out. What I do is say, well, I'm disappointed that you may not have appreciated that video. I thought I conquered it from this perspective very well, or something like that. That's usually how I react to that, and said, well, I'll try to maintain a somewhat more positive outlook in the future, but when it comes to material like this, I can't. Whereas this person saying, if your intention is to troll, promote negativity. You're promoting positivity. You're toxically positive. Or use reaction emojis as a weapon. Okay,
a weapon. How do you use an emoji as a weapon? Culture. I've been firearms since I was knee high to a grasshopper. How do you use an emoji as a weapon?
I don't know. Maybe if you get one of those stars and you wing it at somebody, that could be a weapon. I don't know, man. I can't tell you. But I look at this and I'm like saying, okay, we cannot guarantee that you will be allowed to stay. Allowed to stay. Okay, I don't want to be in this country. Okay, so maybe I don't want to be here in the first place. But look, I mean, I would create a group, that would allow for people to level this game. It's complete garbage. It deserves the criticism that it gets. It also deserves the praise it gets. We just haven't seen a lot of that. It's just really strange. But anyway, the post then quickly amassed thousands of laugh reactions. There you go. People saying, ban us. So this is listed in the official rules. This is the official rules, according to the admins of this group. Look, make a group, make anything you want, put this in your rules. You're not going to have a very diverse group. And this is the problem. So the higher up,
have a group.
Well, and again, the higher ups at EA certainly weren't laughing in the wake of this game's release. This is funny. You wrote that very well there, Marvin.
Thank you.
The troubled title shipped 1 million copies to retail locations, but quickly garnered a massive return ratio. The game's trade-in value plummeted to $22 in 12 days. We covered that here on that gameplays. And there's less than 16,000 concurrent players on Steam. The game failed to reach 90,000 players following its release, with an all-time high of 89,418 concurrent players, which is many, many days away, or behind us, I should say. I don't know, guys. Look, we've been laughing at this game since before it came out. We knew it was going to have huge problems, from art design to dialogue to everything else. We need to kind of wrap this one up and just say, I think this game is just done. I mean, seriously.
Oh, yeah. It's peaked. It peaked long ago, and it's all downhill from here.
They still haven't sold as many copies as the first game, and there are so many more gamers now. There's so many more people buying on PC, buying on systems, and you can't sell as many units as the first game.
Yeah, it's very. Yeah, I look. I'll say not only are there more gamers, there's more platforms to game on. And there's global access to these games now through stuff like Steam and well, we just talked about GOG and everything else. I mean, there's other ways to get your games, and the publishers are now publishing as many places as they can go, because oftentimes when they make a game like this, they know they're making a game for a limited audience. But let's see what the folks in the chat say. First of all, I want to say congratulations to Makini being only 9 away from his next milestone. So if you are not subscribed to the talented artist that is Makini Draws, his $2 super chat should encourage you, because he's a big supporter of this channel, to check it out. For real. Yeah, he's doing a great job. He says, "Holy heck, this is happening." Or I should say,
congratulations. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Holy
people. That's all he needs is 9 people. If any of you out there could sign up at 9 people and you put him over the mark.
Yep, and you will love his content because he is very gifted. He's able to talk and draw at the same time. I can barely talk and chew gum at the same time, which I don't think I think people appreciate that I'm not chewing gum right now. But anyway, he's a lot of fun, and he started around the same time I did. Speaking of somebody who I admire greatly, Knee Pain drops $1 in tokens. Thank you, my friend.
It's the only knee pain that I like, but not the only knee pain in my life, unfortunately.
Oh gosh, I woke up this morning, I was like creaky. Anyway, Knee Pain, thanks for everything you've done and have put together in my lifetime, and thank you for being here supporting us. We appreciate it. On that note, let's move into another story that is certainly going to leave us laughing, just out of sheer, I don't know, schadenfreude. We of course have been tracking Ubisoft and their recent game releases for quite some time. I always feel like we don't give them enough credit for disappointing us. And this is our opportunity to give them credit for that. And a story written by our good friend Spencer Baculi. I really wish Spencer was here today, because we were trudging over his territory. But Ubisoft executives reveals inexperience of Assassin's Creed Shadows dev team. You wonder why this game's going to have issues? Probably half the team is building a game for the first time.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I remember hearing about this a while ago, and yeah, it's absolutely nuts that the game is being worked on by so many people that are just getting wet behind the ears. And how many people could say the first game they've ever worked on is a major AAA title like this?
I don't know, but I didn't see this. I'm sorry, Knee Pain, but he added to that conversation saying numerous articles of people saying the thumbs up emoji and ellipse are offensive. That's so crazy. Oh,
people find new ways humanity finds new ways to disappoint me on a pretty frequent basis.
Yeah. And look, Davina, you're right. Ubisoft voted accelerationism into the downslide. All right, moving back into the story. Sorry, I'm going to have to edit that if I decide to clip this, but it's perfectly fine. Thank you for commenting, guys. Sorry, I just caught it. Okay, one more. I have to drop one more comment. Staff writer, how is I spent 60 on this game and not going to be found funny? You gotta laugh, else you'd cry. Indeed, staff writer. Okay, all right, thanks. I don't know who that is, but welcome, staff writer. First time to see you. But anyway, back to this. So half the team is building a game for the first time. Tell me you don't rely on equity or experience without telling me you don't require merit and experience, right? You need to work into the idea that merit is the most important thing. Bringing somebody in because of equity is a problem, and I said that all confused a moment ago. But what I'm saying is, in providing insight, according to Spencer, why the upcoming franchise entry looks franchise entry looks to be of such low quality. Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed franchise head Mark Alexis Cote has revealed that probably half of the devs currently working on Shadows are building a game for the first time. Cote
You know what
spoke.
that means you don't buy it, ladies and gentlemen.
Look, they've admitted they've had to clean up a lot, and Cote spoke to the Shadows dev team level of experience while delivering a keynote speech. This is a keynote speech for a recent 2024 XDS Entertainment Industry Summit. Wow, this is wild. During a Q&A session held at the end of his talk, the Ubisoft executive was pressed by an attendee if he could speak to which strategies that you find are working in building trust with your internal and external partners when you're communicating. Okay, I need help. How are you building trust with your internal and external partners when they've never done this before? I mean, I admit we all need experience doing something for the first time, but is the first time usually a good AAA game is a good place to start?
You know, let me put it. Your first time stepping up to the bat at playing baseball is not for the New York Yankees. Right. You know, like your first wrestling match shouldn't be WrestleMania. You shouldn't start in the WWE even. You know, you should be getting wet behind the ears on indie games and mobile games and, you know, things that let you develop skills over time. They're just trying to pack the industry with as many DEI hires as humanly possible. And there's not a lot of them that have a lot of experience. So we're getting what we're getting.
Can I add? Ubisoft can't build trust with its own board. If you can't build trust with your own board and your investors, how can you build trust with your team?
It is the biggest just nonsense company. Ubisoft, you are aptly named because Ubisoft. I thought that was clever.
It was clever. I'm like, this is a bad idea. I mean, look, if you need to have a learning cycle. Is used a baseball reference, which I thought was very good. But I mean, in anything, you usually have somebody walking you through your first experience with something very simple, so that they can build on things to progress to a point where you start to become qualified, and you don't have to be supervised after that. If you're working in, go ahead.
There's something to say about throwing somebody into the deep end to see if they can swim. There's another thing altogether to throwing someone in the deep end while they're unconscious.
Yeah, because they're never going to want to do that again. This isn't like, oh, we'll throw them in there and they'll get that treasured experience. No, they're going to hate it and they're going to probably walk away.
Well, but if you throw somebody into the deep end who's never been swimming before, and never had any instruction in it, you're throwing them they're doomed, basically. Anyway, he went on to say, I think it's about being transparent, that you have unqualified people working for you. You didn't have to say that. We can see it. People see the problems if you try to hide them. Well, you guys were kind of trying to explain away some of your decision-making process and hide it that way and qualify it and other things, but that's fine. They will find it and they will lose trust in you for trying to hide it from them. And building games is hard. Building games is hard, guys.
Math is hard.
I think we need to always be honest about that. No, I'm not. I agree with him though. building games is hard. It's a hard process. Yeah, I mean, you
And
have to have.
Why would you do it? Why would you do it?
Well, because you want to build something that's great, something a lot of
And
people
love,
play. Yeah,
that love of creation. If you don't have that, which a lot of these people unfortunately do not, then why are you doing it?
I don't know,
You're
but
just ruining it for everybody else.
but I may have a guy who may have an answer. His name is Spencer Baculi.
I heard he was really buff and good looking.
That somebody in the chat was saying that, Loki. I'm hearing reports. I'd like to confirm that.
Yeah. But this just drives me crazy because I'm looking at this and I'm and it's an article that you wrote, Spencer. How is putting somebody who isn't, prepared to build a game, have them be building the most important game that you have? How is that a good idea? As I say that in poor English.
I mean, it's not. You guys touched on it. Like there is some level of worth in throwing somebody into a deeper end, if you will. Not necessarily the deepest end, but throw them into the 6-foot part of the pool, the 8-foot, whatever, and let them sort of try and find their way to swimming. And if they don't, you can give them tips, and that'll help them be a better swimmer, creator. I don't want to mix up the metaphors here, but the problem is at this point they're just throwing them all into like the Grand Rapids. Nobody knows how to swim. They're just throwing them into these rapids and saying, okay, now we want you to like survive. We want you to take these rapids like Max and Goofy do at the end of a Goofy movie. Like that's basically what they're telling them to do, and it's not going to happen.
No, but again, there's some relevant conversation going on in the chat, and you know what, I'm going to bring it in. Normally, I don't do this in segments, but Mr. Hardcore Mode for $2 says veteran devs went indie, AA, and indie devs went to AAA. Yes,
I wouldn't even say that. I would say that it's actually. I agree with the AAA devs went AA or indie. I think indie devs stayed indie. What you're seeing here aren't indie devs. These are devs who go to school. These are your educational devs. These are the ones who went to school for game design and are getting out of the industry or getting out of school and going straight into the industry. People who make indie games have experience. They would know that, you need to make sure your tables are sitting on the ground, not floating 2 inches above them in your cutscenes.
Oh no, I'm with you. It's just, and that's the problem, right? Is that we don't know the level of which the game was compromised. It's not like we get a trailer of a lot of this stuff. A lot of the things we get trailers of in video games are the cinematics, right? The cutscenes, we call them, right? Whereas if you get a trailer from a film, it's just part or a piece of the actual film itself, and not something that's refined, motion captured cutscene. So the difference between a game and a film is that you are constantly getting like the film product itself versus a game where you're getting a cutscene product, which is very much refined, easier to produce a lot of times versus the actual gameplay that you're talking about, where you were walking down the the pathway
100%.
and the bench is floating or whatever, right? It's why Fallout 76 didn't have a lot to offer, because everything about that game was bad from the get-go and you couldn't hide it. Whereas something like a video game, which, we've seen trailers for this game, all we're getting is cutscene pieces, right? We get a little bit of a gameplay trailer, but it's from a very controlled space, right?
It's like slowed down, 100%. Slowed down like Yasuke, like through the barrels of the. You can't really see what's going on.
There's Zack Snydering it.
Yes.
Yeah,
the worst thing you can do to a thing.
Play a Zack Snyder movie at regular speed. It's not going to be that exciting.
It's true. Yeah, speed up all the slowdown. But yeah, this is one of those weird things. I'm like, this is not something you go out and talk about publicly. This isn't a keynote item you want to brag about, in my opinion. Look, he continued saying, I'm going to read this last little bit and then we'll jump off this, but it says, there's one thing in my career that I keep remembering, he recalled, that comic strip on Penny Arcade. I don't know if you guys used to read it, but at one point they build a game, and one of the comic strips was about realizing how difficult it is to build games. We know. And I think one of the titles, or one of the things that was written, is like, a game is not great is duty, is what's floating through Magic Kingdom right now until it's good.
That's not always true. That is not always true.
Yeah,
because
it's insane.
as much abandonment happens in the industry where they just abandon working on a game to, Cyberpunk is the exception to the rule where they went in and they fixed it.
And No Man's
yes,
Sky,
it was
yeah.
crap. Yeah, No Man's Sky too. I hated it when it came out. I enjoy playing it now. There are some exceptions, but for the most part, if it's that, it's that, and that's just what it is. And they won't polish it because they're not going to spend any more money on it. It's out the door. That's what EA will do. That's what Microsoft does. That's what a lot of these companies do. Is once it's out the door, you might see a patch or two, then it's not their problem.
No, I get it. It's just it's when I look at this stuff, it makes sense to me that there's bigger problems afoot, right? Look, everybody has gone through building a project. Yes, this is the experience is always going to be this. It stinks, it stinks, it stinks, it stinks, and then suddenly it starts to be better. Well, yeah, that's anything you do in life. What do you think 10,000 hours is about, right? So that's not you're not revealing like deep dark secrets to the universe. Look, this guy is trying to defend a game that was as we've seen undercooked. This is a cutscene, by the way. We're looking at this image. So it just when you look at it from that perspective, if you look at it, it's like you need to defend this game, sure, but at the same time, you hired people who are inexperienced to make it, and your cutscenes are going to look great. Your game may struggle. You have game mechanics in there. Loki and I have got a video coming out this week that we talk about the fact that they've changed a lot of game mechanics, and they've basically put in their version of a game developer mode where you're going to have like insta kills, right? Or as we used to call it in the old days of Arena, insta gib, right? So this is going to be when the game developers transfer this to people, you're going to have games journalists going with the easy mode, not like Mr. Hardcore mode out there, but easy mode. And they'll get through their game reviews and everything, which is totally fine, but they will never have experienced the game like most players. And, their observations are going to be like, oh, it's really pretty. Oh, the gameplay is fun. Oh, it's super engaging. Never. And again, I'm being awfully critical, and there are reviewers out there and a lot of people that are, not in the mainstream that actually play these games on normal and, harder difficulties. But there will be some positive reviews that come out of this game. The question is, will we like it? I don't know. We'll find out. Anybody got any last words on this one? Because I want to dump out of it. So
as a modder, let me just say, there is a total difference between I want to make the game better for me, and I'm going to do this, and that, and I'm going to have as much gold as I want, and I'm going to do this, and banging your head against your keyboard because you can't get the right RNG to do what you need to do, and you're stuck, and it's frustrating, and you're ticked. And there will be developers all day long that say, oh, but you'll feel so much better than you do. Or, hey, that's what the store's for. Come and give us $4.99 and we'll give you this in game. No, there is a complete disconnect. I cheat all the time on PC. I have an app on my computer that does that for me, that I just go bloop and it loads up the game, gives me whatever I want. Off you go. Okay. There's a complete difference between I played this game and it's so much fun and I spent hours doing this, and that, and oh, I can't get past this one part because the game won't give me what I need to get past this one part. And if they do that, it just goes to show you there's no one left with the drive and passion that they need to do this. And that's just the way it is. A reviewer needs to be able to go, I'm going to play the game from start to finish without missing it. A reviewer needs to go, I need to see this from everybody else's point of view, not just my own.
Let me just say something real quick. I want this game to be good. I have never wanted an Assassin's Creed game to be as good as I want this one to be ever. Because everything we've covered about this game has been overwhelmingly negative, which I hate to do. But I still have low expectations. I don't know, Marvin. Man, I can't talk today. Marvin?
I'm sorry.
I was saying, what are your final thoughts on this game?
I mean,
This
look,
article.
this is the game that I've wanted from Assassin's Creed since I would say since Assassin's Creed 2, when I realized that they were going to do different time periods and locations throughout history. And it is without a doubt, everything that I have heard about this game leads me to believe it is going to be absolutely terrible, and it breaks my heart. And
right.
you know, and every decision they have made about the development of this game, from the outsider perspective, having not seen it or played it yet, appears to be the exact wrong thing.
Right. Spencer, you get the final word. It's your story, brother.
All right. My final word on this is that Culture, Marvin, everybody, and Loki, I hear your optimism. I know we all ideally would love games to turn out great and to prove us all wrong, and for all of this to just be nonsense that we can write off into the wind as people talking out their butts. But unfortunately, I don't think that's the case here. My honest opinion on this is that I kind of want this game to fail. I want this game to come out and be really bad because I don't know how else Ubisoft is going to learn the lessons that they need to learn. If this game comes out and it's good and everybody goes, oh man, this was actually really fun, we really like it, they're going to go, oh look, we don't ever have to listen to them again. We can just do whatever we want to do, which, you know, maybe it worked out for them this time. It's not going to hold forever. But yeah, I kind of want this to fail so that we can point to this and go, look, this is what happens. This is what we didn't want. Can you guys learn from this, please?
Well, apparently staff writer's already given us the IGN review on the game. It's going to be a 9 out of 10. So it's good. See,
Don't
Spencer?
push it.
We can give it that extra point if you send us that paycheck, Ubisoft.
Speaking of paycheck, I want to say thanks to the support in the audience today. We appreciate you. We got a super chat. I'm going to jump right on. It's from our good friend Jacob Foxfires 964 for $5 worth of quarters in the arcade. An influx of new hires that might not be fit for the roles they have, and we're told to make something. Sounds familiarly Hollywood to me.
Well, that's the thing. The games industry is becoming Hollywood.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, that's what I was going to say, Marvin. Actually, thanks for reminding me, because when with Assassin's Creed, they're taking like the Marvel route with it, right?
Yep.
It's not about bringing in real developers, people who have these skills and this experience to give their unique perspectives on it. It's going, just get us somebody who can fill the role, who can, you know, make this model. All right, I don't really care. I just need you to make the model. And yeah, we don't get quality product out of it, as we see with Assassin's Creed and Brave New World. Available to enjoy on the same day, February 14th. Everybody get your pre-orders in.
Oh boy, I tell you what, one of the films I really don't want to see is Brave New World, but I have to see it if it actually comes out, if it doesn't get moved back. And look, if you're going to make a game good and you have to move it back, I'm all for that. Go ahead, please do so. I'm excited. I will enjoy it. But honestly, if you're not going to make it better, and Cyberpunk did this to us, it delayed multiple times. You know, you don't release the game till it's ready, please, because you'll bring your company down, maybe to its very knees, kind of like Ubisoft, who it looks like went down stock price wise today.
Again, have they gone up?
I'm trying to make sure it's the correct thing. I am looking at the European stock market, Ubisoft Entertainment SA, which I believe is their ticker. And they bounced up whatever the equivalent of $1 is at some point today, after being down substantially today. But we'll have to see. And again, their trading hours are different than ours, so it's a whole other conversation. But I want to say thank you to Jacob Foxfires for that. I am having trouble today, and Kitty Bear drops a euro worth of smiling duty on the chat in the form of a super sticker. So that's
enough to get us a game of Street Fighter if we
That's
split
right.
it 4 ways.
That's right. Yeah, we split it 4 ways.
Well,
Would be good.
what is the exchange rate between Culture Casino cash and tokens?
I don't know, but I'm gonna have to give that back. So I'm gonna have to give that back. I'm gonna refund that. Speaking of refunding things, ooh boy, we need to defund things, and not like, you know, anything important. We need to defund seriously silliness. Vara Dark came out verbally and decided to go after somebody who said some very hypocritical and
I believe the phrase commonly used is "layeth the smacketh down."
yeah, she did. Well, she usually does. She's a great follow, a lot of fun. And here,
Oh, I love Vara. Heck yeah.
yeah, she absolutely wrecked the God of War director David Jaffe after he went on a hypocritical, condescending, sexist tirade against her.
You know, when it
Yikes.
comes to these wokester commentators and games journalists and game developers, they always will eventually show you who they actually are. And the thing that they wag their finger at you about is always typically a mirror held up to what's inside of them. And that never has that been more evident than in what this dude said about Vara Dark, who all she did was push back on his statement that the Veilguard failed because of YouTubers. She was like, "No, you're just salty," and he went nuclear.
You're salty.
Honestly, I mean, if you have millions and millions and millions of fans of your company, BioWare, right? How would a YouTuber derail you who has, less than 1 million followers? I mean, yes, we will make an impact. Yes, we do make an impact, but Vara was 100% right to just turn around and layeth it down. Yeah, and David Jaffe says, you don't have to like me and certainly don't have to agree with me, but please don't lie about what I say. And if you're going to try to attack me, please be smart enough to do so, Vara Dark.
He does it all the time, though.
He spelled her name wrong.
He always does. Like, that's what he does. He's a big crybaby. I actually don't know a lot about the current Vara David battle. That's why I'm kind of going to defer to you guys and listen and get updated on it. But I have my own personal history with Jaffe because I've written multiple articles about stupid crap he said. And he always goes, "That's not what I said," or "That's not what I meant." And I go, "Well, what do you want from me?" And he goes, you're lying. And I'm like, I'm not lying. It's what you said. If you'd like to offer clarification, go for it. I would never work with an outlet like yours. Well, then shut up and leave me alone.
Okay. Well, the question is, can you reach out to this guy and say, hey, you said this, I'm writing an article. Would you like to clarify what you meant? And then put him on the spot. I promise.
No, I've tried. That's what I'm saying. I've tried. Yeah. And he goes, "No, I don't want to work with you, Bubble." And I just go, well then get out of my
shut
face.
up.
Yeah, exactly. And I would love to hear him try to clarify the statements that he made about Vara, because once you see what they are,
it's crazy. So here we go. So David Jaffe lost his mind at YouTube personality Vara Dark, who I think is perfectly lovely and very smart, going on a wild, unhinged, and deeply sexist rant against the popular gaming commentator on his own moderately populated channel. Wow, that was
like
kind.
55,000. He's got like 55,000 subscribers. I wanted to give, but he doesn't have the 140K that Vara has.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, hey, he's grifting. He's got to build his channel up. He's got to work off other people's effort. Anyway, Dark responded by verbally destroying the once prominent developer, taking him to task for his comments. The God of War director, David Jaffe, would like you to believe he's down with wokeness. Okay. His hot takes defending games like DragonAge the Veilguard against supposed YouTube grifters are filled with all the right virtue signaling buzzwords that will earn him points with outlets like Kotaku and IGN. Well, isn't Kotaku down to like 7 people now?
Yeah, but they still give you the points.
Like, if that, yeah.
All right. Anyway, but when challenged by an actual woman in the space who has an opinion that differs from his, Jaffe melted down. And I don't care if that's how you pronounce his name. Just keep calling him Jaffe.
That's what I was saying.
Attributing the success of Vara Dark, who has achieved far more success as a YouTube personality than Jaffe, to her gender and appearance. What's wrong with her appearance?
Oh, no, he's positive about her appearance.
Okay. Well, good. Anyway,
he's saying that's the reason why she has a platform is because of how she looks. And
no, he's not one of those. See the girl and looks nice, so she gets beautiful. Oh, I hate that.
Hey,
guys like that have really little energy.
Anyway, so the whole sordid saga started because Jaffe posted a video on his channel in which he states that DragonAge the Veilguard only failed because of the YouTube commentators hating on it. Dark, along with many others, pushed back on this narrative, noting that the game's failure had everything to do with its uninspiring gameplay, yes, clumsy narrative, yes, and forced modern-day identity politics. It doesn't help. In Vara's rebuke of Jaffe's comments, well, you're using big words, Marvin. Wow.
That's what I do.
You've got smart readers over there at that park place. Anyway, he called him salty for his take and for the excuses he made for BioWare's development team in the wake of their monumental failure with Veilguard. So here's the exchange. All right. He is like a little kid, by the way. Jaffe, who once enjoyed relevancy. That's where I would have put that. I think I would have dropped a comma. That's where I would have put that punctuation. That deserves a comma. Once enjoyed relevancy in the game industry, once enjoyed relevancy, comma, as the creator of Gods of War, comma. That's perfect. You didn't even need the gaming industry thing. Anyway, responded to being called salty in monumental fashion. Monumental. You are in that chair, Vara, because of your hair, your face, and your gender. I think she's in that chair because she speaks passionately about the things she cares about.
Did he say that? Was that
He
an
did.
actual quote?
Yeah,
He
wow.
did.
That is such low T energy. You were
That's why I
absolutely
said
right, Josh.
breaking down the walls of his supposed progressive values to attribute a woman's success to her appearance.
That's not progressive.
That's my chief. Get him.
Oh, guys, we're gonna get to your super chats in a second. Anyway, wow. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, and that's fine. By the way, there's no problem with that. But let's be clear: you're a mental lightweight. Whoo! I would not swing that hard. He then dehumanizes Dark. That's nice by comparing her to a spider. You have, oh my gosh, about as much mental capacity as a spider that I killed in my shower this morning. It's the something
GD.
truth. Yeah, I won't
GD.
say that. Yeah, I wouldn't say that word anyway. It's the gosh goodness truth.
Gold
Talk
dirty.
about the hypocrisy that we were just talking about, them controlling the mean things you say online, the gaming industry, and look at what they're doing.
These are things that if you said it on a message board would get you kicked off of League of Legends. I'll tell you that much.
I'm telling you right now, we need to report him to League of Legends and get his account removed because this is terrible. Goodness, I would never do that, by the way. Yeah, it's like somebody walking over and taking out a political sign out of your yard. Wow, be a little bit more brown shirt, will you? Anyway, Jaffe's big sticking point seems to be that Dark, and by extension, the YouTube gaming community, commentary community, that's us, shouldn't have a say in the quality of games because they haven't worked in the industry. You don't know that. Like, for example, does anybody know that Paul Chatto of Call Me Chatto was in the gaming industry? I bet you there are people watching that don't know that.
Yep, but they always say that you've never made a game. How can you
And he has. He's made more than one. Anyway, keep going. However, and I have made games too. That's a different conversation. However, YouTube commentators represent a demographic with a much more valuable opinion than a bunch of insider devs watching each other's backs, because YouTube commentators are consumers. The paying customer, there's the point right there. The people these projects are designed to attract and to please. To disregard their opinions, as at your own peril, because they hurt your feelings or sensibilities of you and your contemporaries, only serves to show the stark divide that has risen between the Western gaming industry and the players they claim to serve in a very long run-on sentence. Okay.
Sorry. That's what I do.
Again, kindergarten. Beepies. He hurt my beepies. My beepies.
Yeah. By the way, I just leveled criticism at my friend and he apologized. So there you go. Anyway, if a candy company created a candy bar that most consumers believe tastes like what's floating through Magic Kingdom right now, those manufacturers wouldn't typically turn around and blame the consumer for not having their refined taste or insinuate that they don't know what a good candy bar tastes like because they've never been a chocolatier. That is, dude, paragraphs are usually more than one sentence.
I know.
You're not an editor in chief, all right? We're breaking the paradigms. We're destroying the old ways of legacy news.
So it's me who writes proper sentences and paragraphs, and versus the two editor in chiefs down here. Okay, fair enough.
Correct.
All right, I get it. Anyway,
I'm standing by it.
Dark's rebuttal of Jaffe was blunt and effective, and I can't disagree with that. We could continue to go on. Is there more I need to cover, or
I would say what she said.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because that first line of that is mwah.
Okay, here we go. He's furious that our voices matter. Well, of course. That content creators have a voice, but also that it's so easy for people it's so easy for people to, at the end of the day, give their opinions for an average person, maybe like you watching. He is furious at that. I understand that he's a little bit salty. He's not relevant anymore. He used to be extremely relevant. He's got this YouTube channel with, I think, 55,000 subscribers, which is still pretty good. Don't get me wrong. But it's clear that he's just a little bit angry that this is the situation. Yeah.
Yeah, she rips him to shreds more too.
Really?
Oh yeah, keep going.
Is this it? All right.
Yeah.
I am in this chair because I genuinely believe the things I'm talking about. I think that's almost all of us that do this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I genuinely want the video game industry to be better. I'm sitting in this chair because there are not enough voices when it comes to the gaming industry and trying to protect the precious franchises that are getting absolutely destroyed by activists right now. So true. I am sitting in this chair because not a lot of other people will. And I'm not saying that there's no one, right? There are tons of amazing content creators who are now talking about culture war and Gamergate too. But I've been talking about censorship in the video game industry and microtransaction problems and the awful way that developers and community managers have acted for years. You see how I ran out of breath at the end of that? Anyway. All right. So look, Dark's YouTube channel is more than 140,000 subscribers, probably more than that now, making her one of the most successful and well-known names in the video game commentary area. That's true. She finished, and I continue to do so. You can sit here and call me a mental lightweight, but you don't know me. You've not watched all 4,000 pieces of content uploaded to my channel. That's a lot, by the way.
Yeah.
I stream 20 hours a week. She does. I put up 15 videos a week, which I think is hard as heck. I've done that for years now. So you can call me a mental lightweight, but I'm going to keep at it, Buck. I know more.
I'm going to keep it a buck. I think it's a turn of phrase.
I'm going to keep
I think it means keep it real.
Buck. Okay. I know more about the current state of video game industry that you have known about the video game industry in the last 15 years. You are completely out of touch with gamers. You are completely out of touch with how people feel, and you genuinely do not care. You don't care about listening to people. You don't care about listening to me. You do not care about listening to the people that you need to swipe their credit cards if you decide to ever get off your booty and make another game.
Yep.
Whew.
Mic drop.
Man, look, if you get a chance to go watch her, this is the video right here. It's included in the story. You can check it out over on That Park Place. And we are famous for doing that. So is Bounding Into Comics. So if you ever get a chance to sample the articles on either location, well, you'll be able to check out what we are talking about.
I have to write an update to this later today also, Culture, because he's pushed back again.
You're kidding me.
Yeah. Apparently,
give us a tease, Marvin. What's he doing now?
I've been on streams all day. I haven't dug into it yet, but I know that there's a new development.
Man, this guy is okay, talk about, challenging people's mental abilities. This is not a win for you. Okay, you can't win this one. She's really good. There are people I don't tangle with. I would not tangle with Vara. She's good. She knows her stuff. All right, let's get to some of the super chats, unless you guys want to have some final thoughts. Final thoughts, Loki?
This guy's low T energy. The fact that he said what he said. This is what all this left nonsense, crazy woke this is all what it has done is them go, you can't say this and you can't say that, but we're going to say whatever we want because we're more important than you. I don't think so. I really enjoy God of War. It's been one of my favorite franchises. I love playing as Kratos. He's one of my favorite characters. Mike Judge taking over for him or Christopher Judge taking over him was absolutely great.
I was so confused there for a second, Loki.
Yeah, Christopher Judge.
Well, there's a lot of them. Yeah,
but
Judge Dredd.
I can live without your game. I can live without all of this nonsense. And if this is the way they want it, let them have it. Let them continue to expose themselves and show everybody who they are, and watch people continue to walk away and go to something else. We have plenty of options over in Korea, over in China, over in Japan to get games from. We don't have to play yours.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of great AA, creators as well. I mean, it doesn't always have to be
That's true.
AAA game. Anyway, go ahead, Spencer. Sorry.
That was me.
Marvin.
Marvin. Go ahead, Marvin. Sorry.
Remember, this is the guy that brought you the original Kratos, like the angry testosterone driven killing machine. And now he's like, words are harmful. Like, come on, man. And not for nothing, as a narrative designer or as a writer, I mean, those games, especially those first two, were not known for their deep story. It was guy gets mad and kills a bunch of things. That's why when the 2008 God of War, or whatever, not 2008, but 2018 God of War came out, everybody was like, whoa, where'd this come from? All of a sudden, there's all this deep, rich story and character development, because David Jaffe doesn't know what he's not very good at what he does. And apparently he's not very good at being a YouTuber either, because he is just continuing to beat the dead horse and get dragged over the coals.
All right. Okay. Whew, that was fun. Spencer, final thoughts.
Got nothing more than you guys haven't already said. Like I said, I'm learning. I'm catching up to the details on this from this segment. I think Marvin laid the smacketh down for all of us there. And just another day, another instance of David Jaffe being a weirdo crybaby on the internet. This is not the first time he's done it. It's not the last.
Yeah. And wow. Crazy stuff. Let's get into some super chats then. We're going to drop into SFXF314 Sabretooth Raptor for 10 in Tolkien's or quarters. We appreciate them. Culture and Loki, did you both look up the Eclipse class mod for Bridge Commander Star Trek game? I did. Thoughts on it being worthy Enterprise G versus what was shown? I think it would be fine. What do you think?
I like the Odyssey is a little sleeker than the Eclipse. The Odyssey is a little more round. It's more of like a Sovereign and a Galaxy class put together. But having said that, I like the saucer section on the Eclipse.
Me too. Yeah,
So,
that's exactly. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like that's really kind of what stands out to me is that really unique saucer design. I like it. I like it elongated like that, a little bit more front prominent. Again, you don't have to be aerodynamic in space, but it does have a cool look. So
it does.
Anyway, that's an off-topic super chat, but thank you, Jacob Foxfire, for another 5 culture. I got to stop doing that. $5 worth of quarters or tokens. Man, somebody else do this for 5. This wasn't a nuclear blow up. This is a blow up from someone with there's some trouble with their tummy. They're having to run to the bathroom. Looking like a Disney park right now. Yes, and that's what I kept trying to say. Thank you for that, Jacob. That was fun commentary. We've got wow, it's T-Neil89, aka dislikes puns, for $5 more in quarters. Oh boy, I love me a good old fashioned projection. What a tool. That's true, T-Neil. I appreciate it. Oh man, T-Neil is good to see you. It's been a minute, and thank you for that. We've got another Mr. Hardcore mode for $5 more worth of tokens. Jaffe reminds me of that one enemy in a game that throws stuff and hides behind ads as soon as he gets hit with. That's so true.
That's so good.
That's so true. Yeah. Oh man. Boy, did I face a lot of those in a lot of games. So there's that. We got T-Neil again for 5 more in tokens. Thank you for that, T-Neil. Says, wow, Buttherd made manifest at CC. You mentioned League of Legends. I actually know one of the head LOL reps. Really? I'm curious what she thinks about this. You know what? If you can get an impression of that and just message it to me, T-Neil, I would love to have some thoughts on that. You don't have to disclose anything, just like because I'd like to maybe do a video of that or something, because I think it'd be interesting to hear from somebody that's that's from inside that perspective. It worries me that Riot Games is actually going to try to control what people think outside the game. That's a problem. And again, thank you for the $5 commentary. And again, T. Neal for another $10 worth of quarters. My goodness, make it up for lost time. Not to worry, Jaffe. I'm sure if you keep digging this hole and insulting her, she'll proclaim you to be correct and maybe even show you her upper body. Women love stupid, wrong people with no endurance, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's a fantastic use of a super chat. Congratulations. Fantastic use of your 10th super chat also.
Yeah, well, it's yes, except for T. Neal's permanently 10th. he's got the glitch. That's Mr. Glitch right there. All right, we got two more to get to. We're gonna try to get to two more stories in 20 minutes. All right, we gotta hurry. Bass player 2011 Iffy for $5 worth of tokens says dad of boy is last of us with North mythology and about 10 hours too long. Is that true?
That last push, if you've got a grind and you don't have everything you need for the best up, which I did at the end of the game, and everything I needed to buy the best up, except for that one armor you get when you beat the game, which I think is like Zeus's chest plate or something.
Right.
It's a bit of a push at the end to get through it. But once you do, I had no desire to start over again. I've only played it once, and that's very rare. I played the second one. I don't think it was as good as the first one, but it's interesting. It's got an interesting story. It's different.
True story. And for one more super chat for $2 worth of quarters, T-Neal89 says, been sleeping badly and missing streams. Sad face emoji. Well, I appreciate you being here, my friend. And thank you for contributing. All of you that are here today, it's amazing. For those of you who missed the stream, go back and watch it. It's going to be great. Culture trying to be Jonas with super censoring. Look, I'm trying to keep this channel in bounds. This, as far as I'm concerned, this is in cooperation with that Park Place, and we do use a more
interesting dialogue.
We try to present a safe for work atmosphere.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, and now I'm getting admonished by Daryl the Derelict for $2 in tokens.
Greetings program.
Oh, he doesn't like me adding the L in there because he thinks that sounds like Tolkien. It does, but yes, tokens culture tokens. Okay,
tokens.
$2, Daryl. Oh, this has been a fun stream. All right, I think you had one you wanted to go over there, Marvin. If you want to do it, otherwise I will.
Hold on,
if you didn't, it's okay. It's okay if you don't. I have ones to go.
Oh, do you want to talk about CD Projekt Red, or do you want to talk about Obsidian?
I want to talk about Obsidian. Do you have that?
Yeah, I think that's a better one.
Yeah. Okay. I've got it. If you want me to run it, I'm gonna.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, or doo-doo if you're in Magic Kingdom, let's talk about ridiculousness. The Obsidian whistleblower has told everybody, or tells all, on avowed art director Matt Hansen amid racist hiring allegations. This is a problem.
A big problem.
This is a problem. Apparently, the boss says, bleep. That's right, for 2 in tokens. Tokens culture. Tokens. Okay. All right. So Obsidian whistleblower tells all on avowed art director Matt Hansen amid racist hiring allegations. The whistleblower that worked at the Microsoft-owned Obsidian Entertainment Game Studio has shown a light on toxic behavior from avowed art director Matt Hansen. I think this guy loves bridge. When Hansen took a major victory lap to celebrate the fact that ex-owner and the world's richest man, Elon Musk, had called out his fantasy RPG, avowed for its use of optional pronouns in a fantasy setting, he couldn't have known that this whole scenario would snowball in the way that it has. That's one sentence.
It is.
Hansen now finds himself at the center of a major controversy spearheaded by Musk that has exposed alleged racist and illegal hiring practices at the company. What's Microsoft? What did you expect?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously. Anyway,
Well, yeah. So I mean, basically, what happened is he took a victory lap. Everyone started looking into the things that he was saying, and they found him basically saying, like, if you're not a white guy, I'll make you my priority because I want you guys to replace all the crusty white guys in the gaming industry. And I'm like, well, and everybody was like, that sounds like race-based hiring.
it sounds like it is. Are you kidding me? Anyway, so obviously Grum's picked up on this as Matt Hansen, Obsidian art director, went to war with Elon Musk with Avowed. Elon says it won't end well for him. Elon picks up on another of Matt Hansen's posts, tagging Microsoft CEO in a prior tweet about Obsidian's potentially illegal hiring, saying he's confessing to. Did you grab this whole thing? I hope. Did you grab the whole thing?
Did I grab the whole thing of what?
The Grum's tweet. I don't see it.
Oh, Grum's tweet was up there.
No, okay, but we didn't get it all.
Oh, cut off.
Okay, all right. Anyway, basically confessing to being very bad. So, he followed up with this statement. It should not be acceptable for any company in the gaming industry to be racist and sexist against white guys.
Yeah, right. That was so that was Elon said that about 3 months ago. And
Right.
then Matt Hansen responded saying that it was only going to embolden him to continue being racist and sexist against white guys. That was said about 3 months ago. And it was one of the things that people have dug up since he started poking the bear.
Okay. But as the saying goes, it gets worse. So the whistleblower who has previously worked for the developer came forward to YouTube personality Smash JT with stories of experiences working for the company and for Hansen. The shift in the workplace dynamics began after Microsoft acquired Obsidian in November of 2018 and made them a part of Xbox Studios. That's just something Smash JT said in his official write-up on the 2.5-hour conversation he had with the whistleblower, codenamed Doe for the sake of anonymity. They implemented some very strange corporate policies. The first tip-off of Doe that things weren't normal. Anyone who was with the introduction of optional, but in reality mandatory pronouns in email signatures, meetings, and other communications. It wasn't long before an event he described as misgendering incident swept through the company. This led Matt Hansen sending out a company-wide email detailing a zero tolerance policy for intentional or malicious misgendering.
Oh.
Email's tone was described as passive-aggressive, yet threatening. A fair warning that employees who couldn't abide or align with these policies would face termination. You're actually attacking the very foundation of reality at that point.
And let's call a spade. When we talk about intentional or malicious misgendering, accidental misgendering is always presented to HR as intentional or malicious misgendering in a lot of cases.
100%. Yep. It doesn't matter the intent. They just see the end result and go, oh,
Yep.
You did it. So that means it's all the same.
This is clown world. I don't know how we got here. I don't know what happened. I know
these are the people running the gaming industry.
This is I said it earlier, kindergarten, and that's what it feels like. It feels like kindergarten. You will not do this, and if you do, we'll wreck your life. I'm blown away.
Yeah, and it's funny because they don't look at it that way. So that's why we end up in these positions, and again, I mean, none of these people understand reality, science, a whole lot of other things, but we'll keep going. I don't care. So anyway, Doe observed that Matt Hansen was extremely difficult to work with, citing an unwillingness to accept constructive criticism and a consistent tendency to make assumptions about lower level employees' commitment. He also said around this time, the number of straight white male employees diminished until it could be counted on one hand.
Yep.
That certainly falls in line with the potentially discriminatory hiring practices Obsidian is being accused of by Musk and others. Hansen made it clear that he hires based on race and that people who aren't crusty white dudes are his priority.
Yeah, if you want to see that full thing, Culture, we have an earlier article on this on this topic that kind of goes through the whole saga, which I will send to you in the private chat.
I don't know how we got from, hire the best for the job, it doesn't matter what they look like, to this. Because I do remember a time where it was like, okay, just hire people based on merit, based on their ethic, based on job. not based on what they look like. That's what we spent decades getting away from and getting to, and then we get there, and now we're right back there again.
All right. So order to wrap this quickly, I'll just say that Microsoft issued a return to work order to improve, productivity, which makes sense. So amid the chaos of all of that, Matt Hansen was the ringleader of the revolt against it. The art director for over 9 years now at Obsidian emerged as a vocal advocate to continue remote work. Doe said Hansen cited various mental health concerns for employees as part of the reason why they couldn't come into work. Well, they used to. Doe stated that the extreme COVID caution, along with the massive ideology shift within the organization, turned Obsidian into some kind of new age religion. He noted that the remaining employees were driven by blind obedience to an ideological dogma. Wow. This story goes on and on. In summary, Marvin, if you can wrap this up so we can move to the supers.
We're at the point where Chris Avallone, the co-founder of Obsidian, has come forward to tell people that if you have been denied an art position within the company that I helped to found and worked with for many years, you need to talk to a lawyer right away, and it shouldn't cost you anything because this case is a slam dunk.
It is.
It's gotten bad. It's gotten bad, and all because they had to, all because Elon said something, and then this guy had to use it as his opportunity to do a victory lap, do a big dance. I mean, this, from what it sounds like, this guy has been just the ringleader of this kind of culture fostered at Obsidian for forever, and it's disgusting from what it sounds like.
Yeah, and it's a huge problem. There's no denying it. I'm concerned about this. Spencer, you're a newsman. What's your summary of events?
I don't have a summary of events. I'm kind of writing this one too. I've seen it all sort of breaking down on my timeline over the last week, but with Thanksgiving and everything and all the other work I had to do, I was just completely slammed. Long story short, my take on this is that you guys, like, at the very least, you don't have to stop talking. Like, everybody goes out and they whine online. If this is what you wanted to do, you could have done this and just shut up. But no, you had to go out and you had to whine and you had to make yourself the story. And this is what happens. Things like we see this with this dev, the Avowed devs right now. We see it with the mouthwashing devs right now. Like,
yep,
it's okay if you don't like somebody and they are engaging with your thing or criticizing or whatever, you can just not engage. You don't have to. You can just go, you can go to the bar with your buddies and go, man, this sucks. I really wish, I don't know, Mark Kern or David Jaffe or whoever wasn't playing my game. But you don't have to go online and blast it to the world to be performative about it. Because when you're performative about it, we can all tell, oh, you're just politics poison.
Well, you know what? The thing that I always say about people that react to criticism like this is when you react in such an explosive way to feedback like this, it's typically because the person offering the feedback has scratched a raw nerve that you yourself have, an insecurity that you feel and you see the truth in and feel the need then to defend yourself.
No, I think you're 100% on there. It's the projection. It's just the overall emotional stuntedness of the generation that's working there right now, right? Like everything has to be blown out of proportion in public. Everything has to be done to own the chuds. It's exhausting.
Yeah,
it absolutely is. That is so very true. On that note, unfortunately, we have got to wrap this up. So I've got to get through some super chats. And say thank you to those of you who have checked in with us today and supported us. We've got TNeil89, aka Dislike Puns, for $2 worth of tokens. Sure, I'll ask you, but I can't promise a response. Thank you, my friend. I would appreciate it. We've got Daryl the Derelict one more time for $2 in quarters, saying times like these, I really miss George Carlin. So do I. And Jacob Foxfire comes through with another $5 worth of support. And let me tell you, I know people focus on Sony because of their f-ups are more public, but let's not forget that Microsoft is just as bad. Even worse, we've got a video coming out about that this week. about
I
their
think it's
recent-
easier for us. I think it's easier for us to sort of wave off Microsoft because at this point they're just dying. Like they're on life support and we all see it. And everything they do, we're just kind of like, yeah, okay, yep, yeah, you do you, little buddy. You've got like 5 days left. It's okay. Here's your Make-A-Wish. You can you can have Lego Horizon, buddy.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Yes,
we
Spencer.
covered that. You're going to see that video coming up. But you're right. Look, this is all cuckoo bananas and not anything we expected. And for those of you, once again, for supporting us, we do appreciate it today. You probably bought us pizza, which we desperately need. We're very famished right now.
Eat 8 slices of it and throw it up and get yelled at by our moms.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, even better. Here's what I promise. I promise we'll eat better than the 2 ladies that are in Wicked right now. How about that?
People are going to eat
by breathing in. Yeah, exactly, Marvin.
You guys are funny. All right. Well, with all of that being said, and with all of our thanks for your support, I want to get to the board here. It is not this one. It is this one. That's right. T. Neal leads for the month with a significant contribution today. So he's also the gold supporter, which this happens at the beginning of every month. We've got silver supporter Jacob Foxfires in the house, and of course our friend SFX F314 Sabertooth Raptor. If today was a close competitive race, but our top supporters, I appreciate everybody beyond that. Please understand we have to limit it to 90 minutes because I'm headed over to Mr. H reviews for the H cast. Loki, got anything coming up you want to promote in 1 minute?
We've got Pops later today. Talk Hard. We're talking about Jingle All the Way. If you love Bill Hartman, Arnold Schwarzenegger, come on by. It's Pops. Look up Talk Hard. That's where we'll be. Absolutely hilarious movie. Thank you, Culture.
You betcha. Marvin the Movie Monster, promote away, my friend.
Toonie Talk TV, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Come check it out over on the Tooneytown TV channel and thatparkplace.com. Bookmark it for all the news that should be fun.
There you go. And last but not least, the other editor-in-chief. It's like a bottom row of greatness. Spencer Baculi, what do you got going on, my friend?
You can check me out over at boundingintocomics.com where we're putting up new news stories every day. You can hang out with me over my own channel, Studio or Kabuto Studios or Foil Variant, where I've got various shows on various days. And in order to not drag this out, I really just want to take a moment and say, Loki, I missed you. I'm happy you're back.
Me too.
Thank you, brother. I missed all y'all. I missed hanging out here on Tuesday, so hopefully I can keep this free and keep coming back.
Yeah, you need
That's
to.
our guy.
Keep that up, my brother. On that note, I want to say thanks once again, all of our supporters. We appreciate all 400 of you today. And wow, 389 right now, 386. Everybody's leaving. See you over on Mr. H. And if you don't automatically know how to get there, you will automatically be sent there. We appreciate you. And until we see you next time, get your game on. Okay, it didn't work.
See, I don't know if it's the outro or if it's the clip.
Every time.